I got a countdown.
I do not have a countdown.
I like that. That's a good thing about that. We'll give it till Rumble catches up with us, and we'll say hi to you from my personal man cave. We had the privilege Tuesday morning of saying hi to you for a little bit. We're going to break into some introductions here in a moment to let you know who we are and what we're about and what we have plans for the future. I look now at the camera and I see that Bruce and I could not have picked a less coordinated ensemble of attire, but this is who we are, and we want you to see us as who we are, and we want to reach you as who you are, and we want you to know that in some sticky situations and some things that you need to know about going on in the community, you're not alone in those things, and we're here with you. So Bruce, who are you and what is this about?
Oh, I'll start it? Okay, so I'm a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. I am also a licensed massage therapist. I've studied herbs, nutrition, and Western functional medicine. I have a practice in Dandridge that's been going on for 7 years now. I see about 120 patients a week. So this is one of the busiest practices in Tennessee. And my objective is to actually practice medicine, to get you healthy enough that you don't need me anymore. One of the things I've seen as of recently is the level of self-censorship and venom people have had towards their fellow community and their fellow family. And one of the things that I want to kind of remedy is just to highlight the positivity that we have and acknowledge the people that are in the community that are making a difference and a change. And also have a conversation with somebody and really one-on-one get feedback and learn and grow. That's the big one.
Yeah.
So, and you.
And I am Toby Downey. I pastor Holston Baptist Church. The first thing after you say that, Baptist is in the name. I'm more Baptist than I am Baptist. I believe that you can do everything you want to do and call it church, but if you don't involve the Holy Spirit, it is a very empty and vapid thing, I guess you could say. We've moved away from spirituality, and I think that has a great deal of effect on our community. Yeah. Because if we're not, if we're not communing with the Heavenly Father, chances are we're not checking on our neighbor either.
Right.
So you are limiting yourself. I mean, it's great to go to church. It's great to be part of that local body, that autonomous body of Christ. But the world is our mission field. Mm-hmm. And with the change in climate of society in the past few years, leave that ambiguous, in the past few years, we have really kind of regressed into a shell, and we have voluntarily shrunk our circle, our bubble. We've made our own little micro community.
That's right.
Whereas the community is what needs us, and we need the community. Let's go on record and say that. We need that interaction, and it has become so fear-based and so propagandized that, we were afraid of each other.
Right.
And it's hard to love somebody you're afraid of.
Yeah. Well, we have... You had said it with the propaganda, the indoctrination, but we also have lost our social norms of Sunday dinners, sitting down and having a conversation with your family. How was work? How was school? We've lost the ability to meet and greet each other in the grocery stores, where there's a level of anxiety towards reality that we live in, but we're proud keyboard warriors on Facebook and social media, which is very damaging mentally, because we create these echo chambers and we don't reach out and say, hey, what's going on over there? What are those people are into? What is the community up to?
And we've even said that to each other.
Yeah.
How we're afraid of what we say on here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my reputation. One of the reasons I devolved away from social media is the stress that came with it in the formats that I was on. I mean, we were doing 3 services a week from church. I was doing 2 committed time slots here at home with Word from the Woodpile And now, granted, most of the word from the wood piles and the way I just talked to a camera, that was whenever God laid something on me, and I had to get it out. And
Sure.
I loved that outlet. I loved that venue. But man, it was the venom that came my way.
Yeah.
And I tried for years, I mean, from 2020 through 2023, I tried to muddle through the garbage just to reach one person or just speak to one person. And it wasn't just the one person we were reaching. I mean, God blessed us to where we were a redneck sitting in a wood pile next to a wood splitter, talk to people all over the world. And I'm thankful for that. But the venom that came with it, if I even went at a slight angle that was contrary to your opinion, you excoriated me through a keyboard, but you would not have sat at this table and told me the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's the mentality that broke. I think it's a fracture of our passion. We became so dispassionate and so unable to talk to one another that we forgot everyone else.
Right.
And everything revolved around that little old me.
Well, we had this conversation Tuesday about the concept of sacrifice and mercy. There's a certain level of self-awareness and self-discipline that we have given up, and we see that through our mental health. We see that through our diet, through how we regulate ourselves. And I think that self-censorship allows us to stay in our little groups and cliques. But if we just look at ourselves, we have to have that self-awareness. Where am I failing myself? What can I do to improve? And it just baby steps of, you know what? I'm going to start a conversation with the guy slicing the deli meats. How's his day? What's going on with you? Have you been here long? Do you like where you live? It can be just very innocent, but opening them up.
If he wants to vent, let him vent.
Yeah.
And you don't know who's standing on the edge of the cliff right then.
Right. That's
and
right.
we've let those people just fall away.
Yeah.
And I see in my job clinically, I see a recidivism of addiction.
Yes.
I see. You said mental, let's rewind a little bit.
Sure.
You said mental health.
Yeah.
How does this affect our mental health? I came to see you whenever the crazy was the craziest.
Yeah.
That's when we met.
Yeah.
I still come to see you. You said, I want to get people better and move them along. I come to you for a therapist. When I first came, you can attest to the fact you could not touch me anywhere on my body that did not hurt.
That's correct.
And it was not my body that was in bad shape. It was depression. It was despair. It was me being an empath and wearing everybody else's burdens.
Yeah.
And I was just carrying everything for everybody, and I didn't have time to carry anything for myself. And whenever I could come see you for 30 minutes and you beat the snot out of me and we had these I'll clue you all in on this. This happens every Tuesday morning, whether you're there or not.
Right.
Because this is my therapy, and people wear things differently. People wear their world differently upon themselves, and I feel responsible to carry everything I can carry. And you can only carry so much so long without needing somebody else to help you. And this is how our relationship developed, and it could have been very clinical, it could have been very cold, dispassionate, but it wasn't. I mean, it was immediate. And I always say a very fortunate and wealthy man is not measured by what's in the bank, but whenever he dies, they got to carry him from the back of the hearse to the grave. And a wealthy man is not measured by the price of the funeral. The wealthy man is measured by the fact, does he have 6 friends that will carry him those steps? Yeah. You're one of my 6 friends, Bruce.
Well, I appreciate it.
And you have been for a long time. Since that kinship that we have is I count you as one of those. You got to carry me, buddy.
I'll carry
So
you.
you keep my weight down, it'll make it easy on you. But we're not open to receiving any more friends.
Right.
And
Right, that's true.
we don't get it here that it's us that's missing out
Yeah.
by withdrawing from the community.
And the friends that people do make are all usually online. They never actually get together.
No.
That social interaction of seeing somebody smile or laugh at your joke or give you some comfort when like you're really feeling like, hey, I've gotten beat up today. Today was just a bad day. That's something that we should all be seeking regularly, is that just creating that again, that social network. And we can find that in church, you can find that in community, volunteering. You can find that in the family that you're a part of. And this is something we have to learn, mending those bridges, opening ourselves up. And something that Jessica and I were actually talking about is how you approach things. And I know a lot of people are just mentally worn and emotionally drained, where they feel they don't want to put any effort in. That the way that person chooses food, I can't stand to be around them. The way that person laughs, I don't want to hear it. But when you start attacking other people because of your rawness, you're left empty. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
But that self-awareness of being able to, hey, listen, I love spending time with you. Maybe let's not go out to dinner. How about we try going out bowling? You know, now
something loud.
Yeah, so now I don't have to worry about listening to chew your food. We can actually like spend time together. So you are not closing yourself off and breaking a relationship.
Well, one of the things that I see relationship-wise like that was changing even before we got too scared to stand 6 feet next to our neighbor, was men. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about men. Not to exclude women, but this is something that is affecting women now in our lives because men don't have the outlet we once had.
That's true.
If we were to look around here, I can go, my basement is a bunch of old junk. But that junk has invaluable preciousness to me.
It's sentimental.
Because it was my dad's. Well, my dad, when he was my age, he still fox hunted. Now, you say, well, there's no place to fox hunt anymore. No, there's not, because everywhere that used to be a place to fox hunt is now a subdivision in East Tennessee. Mm-hmm. But what we do have is, when I look back at his life, Friday night, he loaded the dogs up, loaded some firewood up, loaded my papaw up, and they went out to the woods, and they met up with 15 or 20 other guys that had their dogs and their firewood, and they built a big fire. They turned the dogs loose, and yeah, they listened to the dogs run the fox, but they sit down and listen to each other.
Yeah.
And there wasn't that many fist fights. Yeah. There was a few, but it was a chance for them to realize somebody else is going through exactly what I'm going through at this point in their life too.
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore. We instead turn to social media for it to tell us how we're supposed to feel right now.
Right.
Instead of having the ability to go to that communal campfire, you know, right. let's go back in time. Mm-hmm. You know, we barefooted and we just kill something, let's cook it, let's eat it, let's break bread and fellowship. That's always been part of my society that I grew up in. Yeah. I mean, it was to the degree, and this is how much things have changed, and I laugh about it. My parents had quit smoking before I was born. My mother never smoked habitually, but my dad had quit smoking before I was born. But I grew up, and there's one right down there on the TV stand. No, not just a spittoon, but an ashtray.
Yes.
Never smoked.
Yeah.
But in our house, there was an ashtray on the kitchen table. You want to know why? Because you didn't know who was going to drop by, and you didn't kick somebody out of your house for smoking a cigarette.
Right.
And people that don't understand the culture of cigarettes, man, I'm not a proponent, trust me, I love to smoke, but I haven't smoked in 25 years. But there was something about a cigarette that brought you together. Yeah. And that little tidbit, you know, whenever you could be at work and say, we got a 10-minute break, let's go outside and smoke a cigarette. You had 10 minutes to do this. Yeah. Now, we don't take we're too busy doing this to do this.
Well, there's two things right there. One, you are able to share the weight of a burden.
Mm-hmm.
And the cigarette at that point in time was the medium to create a space for someone to talk.
Yeah.
And the other thing is patience. We have lost, especially the scrolling and the doom scrolling and the reels. Our level of attention and having patience with another human being and let them kind of like process and manifest what they're going through. A lot of people, I don't have time for this.
We don't get dopamine from that.
No.
We get dopamine from doing this.
Right, so the level of patience. And that's one of those things of like love is merciful, love is kind, does not judge, love is patient. So we should be looking at these guidelines and seeing where am I not making this happen in my life? Because we can, as a community, really make a positive change, not just for ourselves, but for the kids growing up in this area, for the generations to come. If we just follow some basic scaffolding, basic guidelines of what are we going to do to make sure, and being patient with another person, showing mercy, giving that time, and that time is a sacrifice. Somebody needs to give you a phone call and talk to you about what's going on in their life while you really want to go and do something with your kids, or you give them that moment.
And to be truthful, that is the story of our lives.
Yes.
That I feel like a box of Kleenex, and it's always sitting there, but until somebody needs one, they don't come get one.
That's right.
And when they get one, they'll take 2 or 3, and sometimes I don't have 2 or 3 to give.
Yeah.
And that's not me complaining, that's just an understanding I've had to come to after a heart attack at 50 years old.
Yeah.
I'll answer the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I'm not going to chit chat
Right.
sometimes because my life is so busy. I'll be like, I can't do this. So at 2 o'clock or 2:30 in the afternoon, I'm shutting somebody off. Well, that is going to manifest to a nightmare in their life at 3 o'clock. But if I just sit and listen, and you know, to preface this, we talked about volunteering. That's something that when we've talked about doing this, we've always talked about volunteering, giving. You said sacrifice a couple times a while ago. You don't have to go volunteer to build somebody's house by yourself.
No.
But go and just make sure their house is in order. Make sure that there's something in their house that if you need to haul it off for them, you can haul it off for them through prayer, through counseling, through just listening.
Yeah.
And we don't listen to each other.
Even volunteering, as in, there are plenty of people in this area disabled, or they have a lot of kids, they have elderly. I know I have patients that are in that sandwich time where their parents need attention because of their age, and their kids need attention because of their age, and they're working a full-time job. They are compressed by what's going on in their life. And if you have the opportunity or the ability of, hey, you know what, I'm taking my kids to the playground, I can pick your kids up too. Give them an hour of respite. Hey, I know you're busy. I have a dinner I can give to your parents, or whatever it needs to be done. These things really make that social network that we're living in more concrete than the social network that we live on over on the phone.
Yeah. Let me go on record. My phone, of course, we're using it right
Yeah.
now. But if you're sitting there watching this on a phone right now, and you look into that phone is not reality. That phone has been filtered. That phone has been self-censored.
Yeah.
What you're receiving through that has an agenda. We have, it's almost a mockery of mankind, because what we're doing, what little bit of information we can put in, it's then capitalized on by somebody else. Even this, I mean, there'll be ads on this. There won't be ads on Rumble. Yeah, there will be ads on Rumble. This will be monetized. But you know, this is not a product for consumption, for gratification alone. This is anything that we put out there into the ether, it becomes a product that belongs to somebody else. So imagine this, when you're communicating with somebody and you think that you're sharing their reality, you're not. You're sharing their version of a reality they want you to have. And that's not always healthy for them, but it's never healthy for the consumer if you are being swayed or led by a lie or disgenuineness. That's, it's like there's no such thing as good bad advice. And so much of what we run on, the fuel that we run on, because we don't have the ability to reach each other and have community, it's a manufactured lie, manufactured bad advice.
The Matrix.
Somebody's wanting to sell you something. I mean, I even thought about it because I have Roots of Wellness cups. I was like, we need to be drinking our root product placement, But that's not what this is about.
No.
This is a challenge to anybody that would watch to go out and do something selfless. And I'm going to tell you, the biggest blessings I've ever received in my life is when I've selflessly done them for somebody else, and it turns around and God says, you do that and I'm going to increase you 100-fold. We've lost the concept of the fact it costs us nothing to be kind.
That's correct. This is a call to action.
And that is the medicine I have to take every day, that statement to my heart. It costs me nothing to be kind, because I'm having to counteract some really bad demons. Mm-hmm. Because I'm a product of my environment, because I exist amongst evil, I get paranoid. I'm paranoid about what I say, how people will judge what I'm saying. I mean, in the world that we live in today, you better, to some degree, guard your words, because you'll be debanked, devalued. We all think that the cancel culture's gone. No, it's just swung to the whole of society now. You're going to cancel me, I'm going to cancel you. Well, if you keep canceling people out of your life, it's you that's missing out.
Yeah.
What do we have in plans for the future?
For the future, I would like to bring on some people who are actually making positive changes into this the society that we're in. I have quite a few people that I know as patients and as friends who are volunteering their time for the improvement of not only school systems, children, the less fortunate, but there's also, for example, the Lions Club. The Lions Club, incredible for eye health, and I'm friends with the presidents of the Lions Club. There's the Kiwanis Club. There are groups and organizations that work in this area to make it a more healthy area for people to live in. The other thing is, I think we should keep having these conversations, because one, my concept of reality is completely different than your concept of reality. Two, I don't process things the same as everybody else, and it makes it difficult for me to flush out ideas. I see things in patterns, and when I see a pattern that needs to be corrected, much like this past couple of years, I have not liked how people in the same town treat each other online, and then avoid each other in their own town.
In person.
I don't care for that. So I am somebody who believes in action over words. And Jessica and I have had this conversation many times. Jessica's my wife, by the way. But actions mean more to me than just saying something. Like, hey, you know what? We need to get together. Great.
Get together.
It means nothing. It does not compute. If we do not make it happen, then it is just words to me. There needs to be action. So we've actually said this many times. We need to start doing a podcast of our conversations. And when it took us, 2 years, maybe.
Yep.
But the timing had to be right. The soil had to be right. We had to have the right amount of the climate needed to be right for this to take root. So this is what we're doing. We're creating action so we can make sure that people start getting that level of self-awareness, not self-censorship. Self-awareness and that self-discipline. You know what? I have an hour on Fridays and I'm not doing anything. Maybe I'll go to the senior citizen home and just say hello and play a game of checkers with somebody.
Well, that's my life anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the cool part about my
Yeah.
profession, my vocation. You can call it either one, but it's really my life, and I'll put it that way. I all the time. I mean, there's not a day goes by that I don't have an opportunity to just go check on somebody.
Yeah.
And I hate to tell you, but the blessing is in it for me. I mean, it brings me up. Do I like going to hospitals? No, I don't. Do I like going to funeral homes? Absolutely not. Do I like going to sorrowful situations? No. But I get to go in and I get to be that positive element. I get to go to a dark place and be the reflection of the light of Christ. And that opens so many doors. A blessing is not even, it can't even be accounted. For future, just to kind of tease, you and I share a mutual friend, and he is a very eccentric person, but his IQ is off the charts.
Yeah.
I like to think sometimes that I'm smart, and then I go talk to him, and I realize just exactly how dumb I am. And I'm reminded of the moniker statement, the wisest man is the one that knows that he doesn't know it all. You go talk to this man, I'm not saying his name, because he'll probably be on here under an alias and you might not even see his face, because let's just say, sometimes greatness comes with a past, but I love this man. He's become one of my six. But I would like to bring him on just to have a conversation, because sometimes you need your mind blown by realizing you don't understand everything. And when you talk to somebody at his level of intelligence, it will humble you.
Yeah.
I'd like to bring him on. We also have two more friends that I would like to bring on. Their names are John and James Myers. They're 90-year-old twins. They came up as Motown recording artists in the 60s. If we have them on, if they're able to come and be with us, we're not going to have this we're not going to ask any questions. We're just going to sit and listen to some of the coolest stories you've ever heard. I mean, if somebody can start off a conversation with you of when I was backing up Chuck Berry, shut up and listen to them. It's going to be a cool experience to let them bring us into their community. And that's another thing. We are missing so much knowledge by taking our world and shrinking it to our bubble.
That's correct.
And this is an effort to break that. This is an effort to get you involved with the conversation. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Share it on any platform you want to. You'll be able to find us on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, maybe Truth, if I can figure out how to do that one and pull that off. I might even take one of my incognito X accounts and start broadcasting on X. I'm tired of being afraid and paranoid that something's going to come out of this hole in my face that's going to destroy my life. I have the best news in the world. My job is telling the best news in the world. And whenever we start measuring that and mitigating that to what is socially acceptable, we are not loving the people that need to hear it the most. So I'm going to end what I have to say by saying this. I love you. That don't mean a hill of beans. You've tuned in. You've got this far. I love you. I love you anyway. If you quit watching 5 minutes ago, you don't even know this, but I love you. But more important than that, the Lord loves you, and He's made a way to bring peace to the wars of your life. He's made a way to bring fulfillment and contentment to the holes in your life. And that's what I bring to the table to share. And you're not going to hear me getting preachy. If Scripture is referenced, Scripture will be referenced. But this is just a realization that all of us are human, and we've got to get back to being the best human that we can be.
I agree. I don't know if I can follow that up. That's wonderful. I am someone who believes in action over words. When I say I'm going to do something, I follow through. I don't have the ability to stop myself, and that's where that whole concept of self-censorship. I need to express that love and positivity, and if I can shed light on others who are doing the same thing, I'm going to edify them and bring them up to. I'm not in it for anything other than seeing this community grow. And I had this conversation once before. In Chinese medicine, the doctor is considered the living needle. And what that means is when that doctor is placed into a community, that makes the community prosper in health and happiness and growth. And that's something that you do as well. The manifestation of the word. We have that same path. We just have different tools to do it.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing now. Is I am getting that out there, that we are going to make a commitment to our community by sharing some love, positivity, and light.
And believe it or not, we might not look like brothers, but we're brothers. And I've thought about this, and the way to explain it is his personality is 180 from my personality. He is, to describe you lovingly, you have something that I covet, and that is the ability to have a mohawk and a handlebar mustache.
Yes.
I have to, I'm the kind of guy that washes my truck to drive in a funeral procession. I'm old school, and people have regarded me to the point of having that expectation, and not everybody gets to see me. If you're here today, you might not know me, but this is me. This is my basement. This is what I do. If you got a problem, and that pool table's been used countless times, people call me and say, I got a problem. And I'm sitting there going, it's 11 o'clock and I'm in my pajamas, I'm already in bed, come on over. And we'll come down here and we'll shoot pool. Do we sit down, do I lay you down on a couch and get a Freudian notepad and start taking notes? No, we'll shoot a game of pool, we'll play a game of snooker. And it's a very casual way for counseling and therapy. This is counseling and therapy, as much for Bruce and myself as it is for you. And we're just tickled to death that you found us and you've allowed us to share, I don't know, about 35, 40 minutes with you.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, let's wrap it up then, and we'll plan out. We'll try it twice a month.
Twice a month, if not 4 times. It depends.
I'm open.
What kind of traction it gets.
Yeah.
The best way to make sure that this gets traction, again, I think I've already said this: like, share, and comment, all those things. It gets it into the algorithm. For some of you that are voyeuristic and not participants in social media, the more you interact, the farther this reaches out into the metaverse. So we would appreciate any interaction. Don't comment about how white my hair is. Don't comment, if you've seen, I've got 3 dogs and a cat that live down here. So if you've seen a dust bunny fly by on the, don't comment on that. Just say, praise the Lord, that guy's really a human being. He has dust bunnies in his house too. So I love you. I've already told you that, and we look forward to seeing you down the road somewhere. And remember, this is Local 865. It's about our world. It's about our area code. But how can our area code reach out past the Cumberland Plateau and the Smoky Mountains and change the world somewhere else just by a little bit of love sent somebody else's way?
You guys have a great weekend, and we'll be doing this again soon.
All right.
Okay.